A happy beginning. There was once a little girl named Helen Keller. She was born on June 27, 1880, in a small town in Alabama, USA. Helen was a very happy and healthy baby. She loved to laugh, play, and explore the world around her. Her parents, Captain Arthur Keller and Kate Keller, loved her very much. As Helen grew, she started learning small words. She could say simple things like water, mother, and father. Everyone believed she would grow into a bright and intelligent girl. But life had a different plan for her. When Helen was just 19 months old, she became very sick. She had a high fever that lasted for many days. Her parents were very worried. They did everything they could to save her. After some time, the fever went away. But something was terribly wrong. Helen could no longer see. She could no longer hear. Her world became completely dark and silent. At first, Helen did not understand what had happened to her. She tried to speak, but she could not hear her own voice. She tried to look at her mother, but she saw nothing. She became confused, frustrated, and angry. Because she could not communicate, she often cried and shouted. Sometimes, she would throw things or act out. Her parents felt helpless. They loved her, but they didn't know how to help her. Everything began to change when a teacher came into Helen's life. Her name was Sullivan, and Sullivan had her own struggles in life. She had been nearly blind as a child but worked hard to improve her vision. She understood what it felt like to live in darkness. When Anne met Helen, she decided to help her, no matter how hard it would be, and began teaching Helen in a very special way. She used Helen's hands to teach her words. For example, she would place a doll in Helen's hand and then spell DOLL using her fingers on Helen's palm. At first, Helen didn't understand. She just copied the movements without knowing what they meant. But Anne did not give up. Day after day, she continued teaching with patience and love. One day, Anne took Helen outside to a water pump. She placed Helen's hand under the flowing water. Then she slowly spelled WTER on her palm. Suddenly, something magical happened. Helen stopped moving. She realized that the movements on her hand had meaning. They were not just random signs, they were words. She understood that the cool liquid on her hand was called water. This was the most important moment in her life. Her world, once silent and dark, began to fill with meaning.